Hello everyone, we're back with some more X und Y. This is a game against Eddard Stark of Winterfell. And he has very Game of Thronesy nicknames, which is cool, and I do appreciate that. His team, not super threatening. Nothing that seems like that I would be afraid of hugely. There's the possibility Mega's there with Kangaskhan and Gyarados and T-Tar, but if you see Kangaskhan, it's going to be the Mega, let's be honest here. Unless something else like Absol or Houndoom is around, you can pretty much guarantee that that's what it's going to be. So that's what the assumption is that I'm going to be going under, and we shall kick it into gear here. So leads off, I believe, with something that I don't know, because I'm trying to stall for time just because I thought it would send it out. There we go. He leads off with... I knew that T-Tar. He leads off with T-Tar. I lead off with Chestnut. And he probably doesn't want to stay in here because there's a threat of the fighting type move, which would inevitably one-shot him. So he's going to go out into his Chandelure. A nice switch in to my Chestnut. But unfortunately for him, I actually managed to get up a substitute on the switch. And now that thing either has to sub itself to avoid an earthquake or has to switch out to avoid dying to one. So I'm not quite sure whether he's going to be running a choice set yet or if he's going to be running the sub, and he turns out to be running the sub. We've got two beanbags facing each other down. They are huge this gen, I tell you what. The substitute beanbags, they were big in PBR, I tell you what. In PBR, they were pretty sizable chunk bags, but here they are just... fucking like Trojan horses, I tell you what. You could shuffle one in the gates of Troy and no one would know any better. But anyway, analogies aside, we kind of get to this point where I'm able to get rid of his substitute with an Earthquake, and he basically doesn't want to stay in and waste his Chandelure just for the sake of getting rid of his sub. So he goes into the Gyarados, which obviously can dodge the Earthquake first and then take a couple of hits afterwards. At least, probably, maybe he won't be able to. Maybe I'll be able to 2-hit KO him with the advantage of the sand, as well as the lack of Intimidate because I was behind a substitute, and so Intimidate didn't affect me. Plus Seed Bomb is stab, and I think I am running max attack, so unless he is a super duper bulky Gyarados, that should be the case. Breaks the sub with the Ice Fang, which is perfectly fine. I'm pretty sure I can live one though, just because low base power, and I have max HP investment, and there's no stab on it on Gyarados' end, so as long as they don't get flinched or frozen, I believe, can you get frozen with the Ice Fang? Probably is a chance. Or maybe it's just a flinching chance. I'm actually not quite sure on that, but maybe someone in the comments can let me know. I'll probably just check on Cerebi later anyway, so whatever. Ice Fang is Ice Fang. It doesn't do enough to me. I'm able to kill him with a Seed Bomb, and the Sandstorm subsides. So that's not going to be on my side anymore, but thankfully it kind of helps my Chestnut because it means that I am going to be gaining health from the leftovers instead of kind of staying even. Now he goes into Chandelure again. I could definitely switch out to save my Chestnut, but there is, of course, the possibility of him substituting. I was pretty sure he was going to just go for the Fire Blast, honestly, because of the fact that the Chestnut had been causing him so much trouble thus far, and he probably wanted to just get rid of it straight away, but I didn't want to take the risk of him subbing. Although, you know what? The funny thing is, I probably should have done, because I actually have Noivern on this team, and because of Noivern's ability, Infiltrator goes through Substitute, so I would have been able to switch into that and, take the hit and then kill him through the Substitute, or, you know what I'm saying. If he had substituted, I would have been able to get the free switch and then kill him, but that's not what happens. I let me thing die, go into T-Tar, who sets up rocks, and then is able to break the substitute with an Earthquake. This thing doesn't look like it can do much to me. I'm not sure if it's going to be running Energy Ball or not, but it's sub Pain Split Fire Blast. Fourth move could be Energy Ball, could be something potentially that doesn't affect me whatsoever, like Shadow Ball. Yeah, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be Fire Blast Shadow Ball with sub Pain Split. So obviously he can't touch me. He's going to have to be switching out. It goes into the Kangaskhan, which I decided to go for a Crunch this time instead of an Earthquake. I can't quite remember what I was predicting, but I know there was some reason I did that. Maybe he has some kind of Levitator or some Flyer still left that I was afraid of him going into on the Earthquake. I can't remember, but there was some kind of rationale behind that, I'll guarantee you it. Now I'm going to go into Skarmory, because I have max defense and HP, and this thing is definitely going to be physical. It's definitely going to go for the power-up punch to try and get those boosts, and I know that the power-up punch is going to be only 40 base power and pretty weak, and after that happens, I resist its main stab in the form of return, and shouldn't be able to really touch me with any other moves. Skarmory, pretty perfect counter to Kangaskhan, because I can roar it out and get rid of all those boosts, and stop it from setting up all over me, which is pretty perfect. I think I should probably take the opportunity to set up some spikes though, because I'm not afraid of anything that Kangaskhan does to me, and the residual damage is going to be great because a lot of his team is on the ground, and as much switching as he does, definitely going to benefit me. But instead of going for the spikes, I decided to go for the raw, just to get rid of the boost, and then potentially if he switched out to something to threaten me, like the Jolteon, I could push that thing away and get myself into a better position against something that isn't as threatening, like Tyranitar, which could potentially carry the Fire Blast, and I am somewhat wary of that, but he's most likely just going to take the opportunity here, knowing that I can't really do much to him to set up Stealth Rocks on my side. Knowing that he's going to do that, I now decide to go for the spikes, feeling, I guess, more comfortable to do so. And I can probably go for another layer here. I'm not quite sure, though, whether he wants to take the opportunity to switch back to Jolteon, so I am considering the possibility of roaring him out, just to shuffle around a bit more, now that I have, do I have 2 layers or 1 layer of spikes? I can't remember. I'm bad at counting, but that is another thing that could happen. And he goes out, what's that? That looks like 2 layers? I don't know, whatever. I go for, maybe it's not. Maybe this is the second layer here, as he switches out into Jolteon. Now, obviously, I can't stay in because even though I have full HP and I can live with Sturdy, I want to keep Skarmory around. It's definitely going to be useful for a lot of his Pokemon later on. So, go into my Tyranitar to take the oncoming electric move in the sand. T-Tar and his all his special defense can take those hits pretty well, granted that he doesn't get a paralysis or a crit or something. Unfortunately, the paralysis does happen, but it's definitely not doing enough to where this Jolteon's going to stay in. There's no way he feels safe doing that, and so he's going to be forced to switch, or at least Volt Switch in this case, doing some extra damage on the way out into something else, which can take whatever move I go for. Now, I go for Crunch here, which is a bad play, I would say, on my part. There was no reason for me to do so. Earthquake would, I believe, covered most of the stuff at this point. And especially when he has a Jolteon in, Earthquake is the better play to make. And unfortunately, that doesn't really work because I go for Crunch and T-Tar comes in and it just takes it really well. Now, I don't know whether he's going to predict me to switch if I want to save this T-Tar, which I frankly don't. I'm at low HP and paralyzed. So maybe that's why he went for Rock Slide here, because he definitely could have gone for Earthquake and finished me off. But living on 1 HP like a champion, Tyranitar is able to get off an Earthquake, which would have killed him had I gone for the first one, but unfortunately we're not in that position, are we? However, I have brought his Tyranitar down to a low amount where I shall be able to revenge kill it very, very easily. So, lose mine, but in the process, should be able to do some cool stuff, because I've got a few guys I haven't used yet in the battle, and I'm going to throw one of them out there. Azumarill, obviously, such a threat this gen. I decided to go for the Play Rough as opposed to the Waterfall, the Aqua Jet, just because I know he has Haxorus, and so I didn't want to end up killing the Tyranitar and then be locked in on something that Haxorus resists, and then be forced to switch as I give him a free Dragon Dance. So I go for the Play Rough instead, meaning that he can't go into Haxorus because there's the threat. Well, he can, but he probably wouldn't be able to take me out unless he's like banded Earthquake or something. I think at this point, I'm not sure. What's my Azumarill's HP like? Maybe around half. Maybe I could have done. I don't know. Brings in the Kangaskhan, obviously forgetting that the Spikes and Stealth Rock would do enough damage to where it would die, and so it dies on Switch in, which is perfect. Means I don't have to worry about the priority Fake Out or Sucker Punch or whatever. Goes into Jolteon, and at this point, I just kind of need something to fodder. I don't want to be losing my Azumarill because I know it's going to be very useful with the priority Aqua Jet. Charizard, unfortunately, is going to bite the bullet, and it was my Mega on this team, and it does seem a little bit stupid to sack the Mega, but when it's these situations and I'm kind of being compromised, I have to make that play and let Charizard be sacrificed. So I bring Azumarill back, lock myself into Aqua Jet this time because I don't really have a choice, unfortunately, unlike with Tyranitar, and I get into a position in which I don't really want to be in, but then I kind of remember, wait a second, I have Skarmory, and Skarmory is essentially a 100% stop to Haxorus. It can't hit me with Mold Breaker Earthquake because I'm flying type, so Mold Breaker doesn't really affect that. Doesn't have a fire move of note to be able to hit me with, and of course the dragon moves I resist, so not really looking too good for Haxorus here. I have Steel Wing, as I've said before, as opposed to Brave Bird, because I didn't get one with the Egg move. But he does make the nice play of taunting me. It means I can't roar out his Dragon Dances. But in the end, it's not really actually going to make a huge amount of difference, because this Dragon Claw, as you will see, after +1, is going to do an absolutely pitiful amount. I'm running max HP and defense on Skarmory, which I think I already mentioned. And Steel Wing is doing not a huge chunk to him, but it is going to be like a 3-hit KO, and there's nothing else that he can really do to me. He tries to DD again to maybe hit me a bit harder with the next Dragon Claw. I'm not sure if Rock Slide would do more after Resist. Probably would do if he's running that on his set, like Earthquake, Rock Slide, Dragon Claw, and Dragon Dance, potentially. I'm not sure if Haxorus gets Stone Edge. I don't think it does. So that's that. Goes for the Dragon Claw at +2 and does quite a bit more, but definitely not threatening me in any way. I have Roost. I can get my HP back up there whenever I want to, and potentially will do at some point, especially after Haxorus has gone down, which it does to the final Steel Wing. So now I believe all he has left is the Chandelure, which could be quite threatening, because if it gets up a free substitute and is able to scare me in some way by Fire Blasting and Shadow Balling, then in trouble. But I'm not really afraid because of the simple fact that I have Azumarill and Noivern, both of which, in combination with each other at least, should be able to finish this thing off. Noivern on its own will be able to finish it off, actually. And that's the funny thing, because I don't need to worry about the substitute, because I just go straight through it. Draco Meteor is going to destroy the thing regardless. And that's basically my plan. If Draco Meteor misses, then I guess I would have to go into Azumarill, go for the Aqua Jet, and hope to live a Shadow Ball. So I probably should have done that first, although it wouldn't really have made a difference, because the only move that I'm hitting the Chandelure with on my Noivern is going to be Draco, because it's the most accurate thing that I have to hit it, because Flamethrower is 100%, but he's obviously a Chandelure and has Flash Fire, so there's no way that I can get to a point eventually. That entire situation was just him trying to get HP back with Pain Split, and I can't break his sub with a single Steel Wing, which is why he's able to have a free one while I die to a Shadow Ball, which I guess at that point he knew I was going to. Also, the Life Orb's going to help me bring him down, but doesn't matter because I bring in Noivern, and now everyone shall see why Infiltrator is so smashing, because the substitute is there, he's behind it, but it doesn't matter because Draco Meteor just kills him from behind the sub, and Chandelure is gone. So a really stylistic end to the battle, the first time that I've actually been able to pull off Infiltrator with Noivern, and won me the game. So really fun game. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Feel free to leave a like if you did, that's always appreciated, and until next time, keep watching, keep enjoying, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.